Hey guys, so I'm back with and ready for the portion control video that I promised you guys. So I want to do this in the 10-minute time frame that I said I'd do it in, so let's jump right in. So basically the two kind of ways that I conceptualize portion size are the volume, or how much food or how many units of food that I'm consuming. An example is 1 piece of toast, 1 egg, 16 hot Cheetos. Okay, so the volume, how much, and the second half of portion control is the nutrient density of that food. And again, I'll just give an example. I don't know. Okay, whole wheat toast, for example, I eat a lot of it. It's some are heavy and have about 9 grams of protein. Some of them have about 9 to 12 grams of carbs. But since it is whole wheat, it's more filling and it's good for my digestion, or anyone's digestion, as long as you are properly, as long as you're not dehydrated. And fries, for instance, even a small order of fries may be immediately filling, but really has no nutritional value. I could say that it would be high in carbs and fats. So it's important that portion size, your understanding of the size of something relates to its function, its nutritional function for you. So let's go into like volume, right? How much? So I want you to start to scale back your understanding and give yourself a base standard by which to measure the quantity of food that you're consuming. And that base standard of measurement are the scientific guidelines for portion sizes. Now, it would be unfair to say that, or one serving size would satiate me, someone who is about 5'2". I'm not exactly sure how much I weigh, to be honest, anywhere from 125 to 135 realistically, but I honestly couldn't tell you. And who is pretty active. It would be unfair to say that a serving size of chicken, for example, 6 to 8 ounces of chicken, would satiate me the same as it would a 6-foot man, 300 pounds, maybe who is inactive. It would just be unfair to say that we would both be satiated by a portion size. But by knowing the portion size, what it does is it gives us a standard by which to begin to measure and have control over the amount of food that we're eating. So we may say, for instance, I can know that, I keep going back to toast. I wish I would stop, but I really kind of do have a thing for toast because it's so fast. But I believe 1 piece of toast is a serving size, or 2. But I've kind of gotten to the point, I've evolved to the point where it's quite okay, because by knowing the standard of, 1 piece of toast being a unit of the food that I'm going to eat, I can say that it is going to take anywhere from 1 to 2 pieces, depending on some other circumstances as to whether or not I am satisfied by that. And that's the other thing. Portion size is actually kind of on a sliding scale according to your current needs. Meaning, sometimes you will be hungrier and require more calories or a bigger portion size or more portion sizes than you would on a day where you were less hungry. What are some of those circumstances? I'll just give you a few so you understand. After workout, you might feel hungrier. Maybe in the morning after following the day of a heavy dinner, you might want a very light breakfast. And conversely, if the dinner from the night before was very light, you may find that you need a greater volume of food in the morning to feel satisfied. So that's what I'm talking about, portion sizes. What's going to help you to understand, again, what a lot of food is and what a little is by having a standard. So how do you know the standards, scientific standards of food? Well, you're going to start looking at nutrition labels. Make sure that you are always examining all of the nutrition labels on everything that you're purchasing, because again, that is going to inform your idea of the standard and where you fall in that standard. For example, 1 cup of oats may be a serving size of oats, and by knowing that, you can thereby determine the nutrient quality or nutrient density, or the qualities of the nutrients in oats. You can then say, wow, this will give me 12 grams of protein, for instance, if I consume this much. And so then you can start to really understand the function of that food and the purpose that it is serving in your body to help your body perform better. So that kind of taps into both serving size and a little bit about the nutrient density. I want you guys also, so when you're using these standard portions, to understand how many carbs, proteins, fats, and vitamins are in each unit of food that you're eating. You're scaling again that what you need to be full according to your current needs. This is going to require you to tune into yourself. You're going to have to start when you're hungry and stop when you're full, which brings me to another important point about hunger. Let me roll down my windows really quickly. It's hot. There we go. This brings me to a very important point about hunger, which is there are 2 kinds of hunger. There is tolerable hunger, which is tolerable, and there is intolerable hunger, which is intolerable. So I'm going to start with intolerable hunger. Intolerable hunger is exactly what it sounds like, right? It is very difficult, and it is has a lot of negative health effects. Some of them being, right, when you are constantly in a state of starvation, which is intolerable hunger, when you choose to be in a state of extreme calorie deficiency, starvation, your body will actually start to, instead of just eating off the excess fat of your body and therefore make you leaner and have a greater muscle composition and lower body fat composition, it will actually start to eat the muscle. Muscle burns fat. So then you're in a cycle. You will be weaker and more tired and more easily exhausted and lack strength because you are not properly fueling your muscles with what they need to maintain and to grow and to be strong. Another thing is that having a lack of nutrients negatively affects your mental processes. You won't be able to think as clearly, focus as long. You may have some headaches, and they definitely a severe calorie deficiency, starvation, intolerable hunger will definitely impact your ability to regulate your moods and your emotions, right? You might fly off the handle, or you might be excessively emotional. It'll make it hard for you to kind of run smoothly because you're doing a disservice to your body, right? That is intolerable hunger. It's not the way anyone ought to treat themselves. It's not the way to go about a diet, and it's not taking care of yourself to often at your own volition choose intolerable hunger. Tolerable hunger simply means not feeling super full all the time, which is fine, because that feeling of fullness when done right is extremely satisfying. When you're really hungry and you get full at a point that is actually true to your body's needs, and you stop once you've reached that point, it's very pleasant. You've gone from a lot of hunger to now feeling quite satisfied. But when done in excess, then you feel stuffed and it's quite uncomfortable. So there's nothing wrong with tolerable hunger because it keeps you from feeling that uncomfortable feeling that comes from eating way too much food. That basically is kind of my framework for portion control. Scaling back and having an understanding of the scientific size so that you can then decide based off of your current needs what is filling. And the guidelines by which you're going to start to scale your food is the scientific standard. So instead of just eating breakfast, you'll start to think to yourself, well, for breakfast I had 2 eggs, 3 pancakes, 3 pieces of toast, a glass of orange juice, and I don't know what else. right? But you're going to start to think of your food in terms of units. And you'll start to actually be a lot more conscious of what it is that you're consuming. And additionally, like I said, once you're aware of the nutritional content of the food, you can say to yourself, this is the purpose that the food is performing in my body. For instance, this food is high in protein, and I know that because I've been checking the label. This food is high in protein, therefore I can expect that this food will keep me fuller for longer because that is the function of protein. I can also say that this food will help my muscles to repair, grow strong, because that is also the function of protein. And really, you'll go ahead and apply that same principle to the different areas of the food. You can say, well, this food is rich in antioxidants, or this food is rich in vitamin C, or this food is good for digestion. Once you know what's in your food and you understand the purpose of the food, the nutrients, and how much nutrients that food is delivering to you because of the scientific standard, you'll have a better idea of how food is serving you. And again, this is going to call for intuition. There's not a set rule. Although sometimes people start out that way and say, I want you to only eat this much, and this much. What I want you to do is to start listening into your body's needs. I want you to eat nutritional food when you are hungry, and I want you to stop when you are full. You can always go back to the food later if it's really good, or really you can always just save your food. I do. And always go back to it later. Don't feel like you have to finish it all in one go. Even if you eat, stop when you're full, and you find that in 2 short hours you are hungry again, you can just eat again in 2 hours. But what I want you to start to do is to start to listen inward to your body and respond to what it is telling you. Meaning, when your stomach starts to hurt because you are overeating, I want you to stop, because that pain is your body signaling that it has had enough. And don't ignore it because the food tastes good, or because you feel like you ought to finish everything that's on your plate. Those are outside things. I want you to start focusing in so that you can start to be in control of your portions, and so that you can start to make food choices that serve a purpose for you. And of course, it can taste very delicious as well. And here's just a little nugget. I think you're going to be surprised by how little nutrient-dense food it takes for you to feel satisfied for a long time. As you go on learning and you begin to make choices for yourself that are high in nutrients, you will find that you don't need as many empty calories, and it takes a much smaller portion to get you fuller for longer. You'll find that your mood is improved, you have greater energy, greater mental clarity, and that your taste buds will also start to desire more of those healthy foods that are helping your body to function at its best. So I hope that was helpful to you. Let me know if you like it. And if you like that video, if it was helpful for you, and have a good day.